adventurer Brian Keating has returned to Calgary from another one of his great excursions. He wants to take us this time on a journey to one of the majestic peaks on the planet.
Well, yeah, Ted, late last year, I climbed Kilimanjaro for the Calgary Health Trust.
Oh, okay.
So the Calgary Health Trust had a fundraiser. They wanted to get a bunch of people together. In the end, we got 26 climbers, and they wanted to give them a challenge to do something cool, something personally very satisfying, but something that'll help the Calgary Health Trust raise money for their funding needs for the Rocky View Hospital. So here we are. It's very exciting. All the porters are getting all the gear in place, and they're all packing up and figuring out who's carrying which loads. It looks like it's going to be a good start to our ascent. And Kilimanjaro can't be done without porters. And we had, for 26 people, we had 105 porters.
Wow.
And another 19 professional staff and climbing guides. And we virtually moved like a small town up the mountain. And we went through the tropical forest belt on the mountain itself, came across colobus monkeys, one of my all-time favorite monkeys. They're a leaf-eating monkey of Africa. Then we broke out of the forest and up into the heath zone. We got hit by an unbelievable hail and rainstorm that turned our trail into a torrent. Later on, a couple of days later, at 15,000 feet, so we were coming up over a pass to then drop down to a lower elevation. We got in a beautiful snowstorm that turned the whole landscape white. It was an amazing experience.
What are those trees?
Those aren't trees. They're actually a plant related to the sunflower, and they grow at the giant lobelia and the senecio. That was the senecio. You can see some silhouettes of the senecio here. They grow in huge sizes up on the slopes of Kilimanjaro. And then we had this wall to ascend. It was about maybe 300 meters in height, and it gave a little bit of air to our climb, but it was very exciting. Everybody did it really well. We had to get up early in the morning to do this before the porters passed us, because there wasn't enough room on the trail to have the porters, who are a lot fitter and more elevation adapted than we are. So we did this. Oh, and here's the kissing rock.
What's the kissing rock?
Well, you have to squeeze along on a little narrow ledge, holding on with your fingertips, and it forces your face within kissing distance of the rock. Now here we are at about.
So this is what it would sound like on phonolite halfway up Kilimanjaro.
We're at about 5,000 meters here, and look at this. This is volcanic rock.
Cool.
And you know, this is where the talents of your fellow climbers come out. This guy used to play in a rock band in high school, and before we knew it, he was playing this song on this gorgeous sounding rock at 5,000 meters above sea level.
Wow.
And it just added another dimension to the whole climb. Then now here we are coming up over this ridge, and then a lammergeier. This is the very rare vulture that actually feeds on the chips of long bones that they carry up high and drop from various.
They drop the bones?
They drop the bones and they eat the bones to get at the marrow and the bone itself. Highly specialized vulture. Very rare, and we were lucky to see one. Now this is our ascent. We started at midnight.
Okay.
And we climbed steadily for 7.5 hours before we got to the summit. We had a full moon, or a near full moon, so we didn't have to use our headlamps most of the time. At about 4:30 in the morning, the eastern landscape started to light up. Oh, I'm telling you, people's hearts were singing. All of the fatigue and the cold, it was probably about -15, dissipated. And then on the summit, some of the members from the Rocky View Hospital celebrated. We got all 26 climbers up onto the summit.
Awesome.
And there's our summit photograph, just 5 meters shy of 6,000 meters of elevation, the tallest point in Africa, and we made it to the top.
You did.
And it was all for the Rocky View Hospital. They raised a lot of money. Every single climber had to raise $5,000 on their own as a part of their contribution to the climbing, and they got friends and relatives to help out.
Sure.
But a lot of them raised a lot more than that. And John Gorman from Halliburton, he was the lead on the trip. He summited as well with his wife, along with the rest of us. He, of course, and Halliburton were major contributors to the whole the whole fundraising effort. And it looks like the Calgary Health Trust is going to do it all again. They're looking at possibly doing Kilimanjaro, a 2-year timeline down the road. That'll be announced soon.
It was announced right now.
Yeah.
You just announced it.
But the official location they haven't decided upon yet, but I suspect they're going to do a return trip to Kilimanjaro.
We just have time now to just kind of quickly promote you're coming again on next month, right?
That's right. I just got back a couple of days ago from the Galapagos Islands.
Yeah.
So I was editing some video of that trip, and I have to show it to Calgary. So I'm going to come back.
Let's do it.
I'm going to come back next month, along with a return trip in a year from now to the Galapagos with Civilized Adventures. I'm doing another trip next January, which is kind of a nice time to leave Calgary, Ted. And we're going to be doing a trip to the Sea of Cortez in Baja, Mexico.
Wow. I'd like to see your passport, the stamps. Thanks for coming in, Brian. Always good to see you.